Thank you all for joining us. We're going to get started with press conference now with head coach Phil Neville. Phil, if you want to get started with any opening remarks.
Yeah, well, we've got another scrimmage tomorrow, and then our last scrimmage on Saturday. I think we're getting to that point in the season now where we're just wanting to forward wind to the week after. Feels like we've had a lot of scrimmages and a lot of training, so it's now just fine tuning. More importantly, getting those guys that are a little bit behind everyone major minutes now in the next two games to make sure that everybody arrives on the 25th of February fully fit. And we've got minor knock. Robbie Robinson's got a little bit of a calf tightness. He's missed his first day of preseason today, so I think that's a major step for Robbie, and we're really pleased with how he's really concentrated and knuckled down and gone through the whole of preseason. So he'll be only a couple of days, I think. Probably tomorrow's too soon. Tomorrow, Stefanelli, Motta, Joseph, we'll get some minutes, not major minutes, but some minutes again. And we're going to probably rotate the team a little bit tomorrow as well. So looking forward to the game. It's another test. It's another 90 minutes for the guys played in the stadium for the first time. Saturday's Austin, which will be another good test. And then, I said to the guys the other day that you can't just turn your form or fitness or anything on the 25th of February. You've got to work at it every single day, build confidence, build rhythm in the team. And I've got to say that in these next couple of games, I expect better performances.
Awesome. Now we'll get started with questions in the room, and then on Zoom, we'll get started with Michelle Kaufman.
All right. I have a couple, if it's okay. Since, first of all, I want to ask about Sergi. He was off to the side today.
Yeah.
Just how's he doing? When do you expect him to be back? And then the fact that you're playing Montreal, and you're playing them again in the, for the season opener. How is that? Is that beneficial? You get to see them, but they also get to see you.
Yeah. Well, I think it's 90 minutes football. I think that's you think about the pros and the cons. It's 90 minutes football. They're probably thinking exactly the same way as we're thinking, how we're going to approach it. Are we going to show our hand? Are we not going to show our hand? So I always think it's better off just concentrating on yourself, making sure that you get your players on the pitch that need minutes and in the system that you want to keep developing, and use it as a training exercise in that respect, because come 10 days time, it's going to be totally different. It's going to be the real thing. So I'm sure they think the same way as us. It's not ideal, I've got to say. When the fixture list was brought out, we'd already committed to this fixture. Montreal have obviously been training in our facility, and they're always welcome here. So it's I suppose it's preseason in the MLS, where you commit early to fixtures against teams in your Eastern Conference that sometimes you play in the first couple of weeks. But it's more about what we do, really.
And
Sergi's coming on great. He's been out on the field today running. Yesterday was running, and we hope to accelerate that for the weekend, really. So I'm hoping to get him minutes on Saturday against Austin, and then he has a full week then into the Montreal game.
Can I ask one more and then give it to Ian? Drake Callender, signed the new contract. Can you just talk about that, with the timing of it and what, how important is it and why now, kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I think we're playing Montreal today. I think I look back to the Montreal fixture this time last year. I think it was a turning point in his career. I think the game didn't go well, and there was some real honest conversations had after that game about each other's expectations of each other, and I think he rose to the challenge. He became our number one. He had a fantastic season, the third best goalkeeper in the league. I think he's got incredible potential. I was really surprised that he wasn't named in the USA squad for the January fixture. I think he deserved to be there in terms of sort of like the way that squad was selected in terms of the next generation type. And I think he is the next generation USA keeper. I was lucky enough to play with one of the best USA keepers in Tim Howard. And I see great similarities between Tim and Drake Callender. The one thing I would say is that Drake's got a long way to go. His development is still on the trajectory up, and we expect big things from him. And I think in terms of, you think about the competition for places now, I think the four goalkeepers that we've got are as good as any four goalkeepers in the league. Marsman, We know his qualities. CJ, I think, is going to be a sensational goalkeeper. And our draft pick, Cole, I think he's got huge potential. So we've got real competition for places in the goalkeeper department.
Next question, Ian Hest, and then we'll go to Jose on Zoom.
Thanks, Michael. Phil, it's been a couple weeks since we've seen, we saw St. Louis, but we haven't gotten to see real game action, which we'll get to see later this week. But you as the coach, what did you identify then as levels of improvement? And have you seen them successful? Are there still other areas that you're uncomfortable with heading into, the last couple of games before the season starts?
Yeah, I think in preseason, you're probably never fully satisfied. I want to see more. I want to see better. I tell them every day, we've still got a lot of work to do. We're still in the early developments. We've still got players integrated, but I do expect better. And then on the other hand, you say it's preseason. We're still gathering that connections that we've got. So, but I think we've got to keep driving the levels of performance. We want to be successful this season. We see this as a big year for the football club, and if you look back at the last 3 years of this organization, we haven't started any season particularly well, and that's our aim. We want to start the season well. You think about last season, we didn't get a W on the board for 5-6 games. The season before was was probably the third game. The season before that, I think it was 5-6 games in our inaugural season. So I think it's time this organization starts well, and that's what we're aiming for.
Awesome. Next question, Jose on Zoom.
Thank you, Michael. Hi, Phil. My question is about Gregory. There are
Yeah, hold on 1 second, Jose. Can't hear
Okay.
you. 1 second.
Happy Valentine's Day,
Any-
guys. Anyway,
Yes.
it's funny this morning because we did am I live here? I am. We did an exercise where we went round all those with partners or wives and asked what they'd got their wives, and every single one of them said nothing. They were too shy to say they got a teddy bear or something. So
In the meantime, any other questions in the room? And then we'll work our way back to the Zoom. Ian, Mari.
I just wanted to follow up on what you had said and starting strong. It comes with 2 of the 4 most likely starters in the back line week 1 to be different. How have they sort of started to gel together? What sort of things has Chris been able to hold down that with, or that DeAndre's been able to do to make sure that there's like some cohesion in that back line?
yeah, well, I think Serge's injuries meant that we've not been able to play a consistent back line, but Ame and Chris have developing a really good partnership. Ryan Saylor's been out injured, but he played 45 minutes in the last game or 30 minutes in the last game. He'll play minutes tomorrow night. So we've not yet had once in pre-season where all our centre backs have been fit and challenging for a place. Franco Negri's come in and played the last couple of scrimmages. DeAndre obviously on the right hand side has played in most of the scrimmages as well. So with the 3 fullbacks with Harvey in there as well, we've not had that much consistency in the back 4. But I suppose that DeAndre, Ame, and McVeigh have played in much of the games, so they're getting a good understanding. We just now need Franco to get fitter. Because he's in the earliest parts of his pre-season. We need to understand the languages and the way that we want to play. But everything we've seen so far suggests that he's going to be a real good signing for us. So it does take time for back 4s and goalkeeper. You're thinking about the back 5 unit, and hopefully Sergi's experience will help that.
Awesome. And we'll try the Zoom again, Jose.
Hey guys, can you hear me now?
We hear you.
Jose.
Hey Phil, how are you? Hi. My question is about Gregory. There are rumors coming out of Brazil that I know there are teams interested in him. I wanted to ask you if he is available, and if he's staying with the team, then is he occupying a designated player spot? Thank you.
Gregory's going nowhere. He's we're hopefully going to sign. He's going to sign a new contract soon. He wants to stay at this football club. There has been lots of rumors. We can't deny that, but he's our captain. He's my captain. He's the heart of. I'd say it's the heart of this team. When you ask all staff members, and it's not just on the football side, but anyone around the club, and you say, who's their favorite player, who's the player that epitomizes our culture, and they'll all say Gregory. So you don't let people like him go unless somebody comes in with an absolute crazy bid. You know, he's our captain. We want him to sign a new contract, and he's a big part of what we want to build.
Again in the room, Michelle.
I know it's hard to compare seasons and compare teams, but where are you now compared to where you were last year, you know, 2 weeks before the season? And are you satisfied? Are you, you know, do you feel like if you went out there today with the team as it is right now, it's where you want it to be?
Well, I think rewind back this time last year, we had a turnaround of 19 players. We went into the season, I think it's 9 to 10 players out injured and not available. This year we've at this moment in time for the start of the season, we've probably just got one not available. That's Ian Frey. So from that respect, we've got a team that's been quite stable. We've added in 4 or 5 new signings. And we've got everybody now is used to the intense work that we like to put into them. Last year, they came in at different stages, different parts of their sort of like preparation, and the way that we like to work in pre-season and every single day is maximum intensity. You know, I think that's one of our X factors, is that we do work our players hard, and players have to become adaptable and durable to that. What we've seen this year is that the players have become durable to the way that we want to work, and so I'd say that we're in far better shape in terms of the stability of this football club. I think the season last year's gave us massive confidence, but I think when you have a season like last year, the expectation rises, and with expectation comes pressure. And what I always say to the group of players now is that you cannot stand still. You've got to keep improving. You know, the players that I thought did fantastic last year, the Drakes, the McVeys, the Dukes, the Taylors, the Campanas have got to keep improving 5%, because if not, the people will overtake them. And we've got a roster now that there's nobody's guaranteed their space. Talked about the competition at goalkeeping, centre backs. We've got five really good centre backs. When Ian Frey comes back, you're talking about someone that I believe will be a USA starter if he gets back up to where he was 12 months ago. So we've got real competition for places now, and hopefully that will raise the level of performance.
You mentioned the other day when we were outside after practice that you thought there might be one other signing or
Did I?
something before the season.
Did I say that?
You did.
Are you sure? You was tired. You'd been.
Or is that still the case?
No, I think the shop is closed. I think unless something, you know, I think our roster is full. We're always looking for something to make somebody or something to make a change. But I think the one thing I'd say is that I am incredibly happy with the players that we've got. We are approaching roster compliance. You know, there's a cap compliance system in this country where you've got to make sure that everything's good. And at this moment in time, we are probably pretty full. So we're in a good position. I think stability and having everybody knowing that this is what we're going to go with until the summer, in particular, is going to bring better performances.
Thank you, Phil. Next, we'll be joined